Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sasquatch Outpost podcast. We are live from Guffey, Colorado, and this is episode 67. Welcome. We're going to trust that we can stay online and that my truck doesn't run out of gas because that's what's keeping the internet going. I won't try to explain, it takes too long. So, we are excited to be here. We've got some fun stuff to talk about that's happened since we've been together. And we've got a bunch of people who are getting chilly because the sun keeps coming and going to here. But we've been together for a night. We're heading for our next night. We had a busy night last night, which we'll get to in a second. And I have a quick story to tell you. We had a funny situation at the store. This is about a week ago. We were down visiting my daughter in Littleton, and I got an alarm from ADT security that we have in our store saying there was a motion sensor alarm in the main store. So I look at my watch. It's still light outside. It's 8 p.m. and I'm thinking, all right, who's going to break into my store in broad daylight? So nonetheless, I said to ADT, well, go ahead and call the deputies, have them go by, take a look, and called my friend Squatch, who lives up the hill, and had him walk down. I said, don't go in the store. Deputies are coming. If you're in the store, then you're in trouble. So even though everybody knows him. So we rushed back up the hill. We get up to the store, and the two deputies are like, yeah, we already went through. We didn't see anything. You want us to go back through with you? And I said, yeah, let's do that. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know some hiding places in the store you probably don't know that somebody could be in. So we start walking through the store, and there was a newer deputy who I've met in my coroner volunteer duties. And we get back into the back and into the museum, and he goes, I'm going to tell you something. He said, I walked in here and it was dark, and our animatronic Sasquatch, the boss, he works all the time. He said, I walked in here and he said, I want to tell you, it scared the, you know what, bejesus out of me. And so the boss, makes his noise and turns his head. I said, bro, thank you for not shooting my Sasquatch. That would have been a big bummer to come in the morning and have a big hole in Sasquatch's chest. So he laughed, and I said, listen, next time you have to come to my store, remind me to tell whatever deputy is on duty not to shoot my Sasquatch. So we're going to put up a sign that says, this property protected by Sasquatch, literally. So, but it all ended well. So then we looked at the cameras and we found out it was two little kids. Their parents were down the street a little ways. And of course, they're looking in the window and they try the door. We had forgotten to lock the door that evening. And of course, the door opened, and then they heard the beep, 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 and they just ran away and left it open. So that's what happened. Thankfully, it didn't happen at 2 a.m. That's a whole different ball game. So anyway, funny story. Our property is protected by Sasquatch. And so now Isaiah knows not to go in there in the dark, or what's going to happen to him if he does. So I want you to meet a few of the folks that are with me. And as we're going, if any of you have questions, I can't read them from here because I don't have my glasses on, because my glasses are auto darkening. So I don't want to look like James Bond on the video. So, but we've had some fun stuff happen last night, and then today we were out driving, and yesterday looking at some tree structures. So, I'm just going to quickly introduce a few people. I'm going to see if I can turn this. This is Kevin next to me. Kevin's from
Westminster, Colorado.
Westminster. And we've got, I think next to him is Vince, and Vince is from the Springs, correct?
Springs.
And then we have Steve, who came all the way from near Reno, Nevada. And then we have Bob, who came Pueblo. And then we have our ladies. We have Leslie's first, okay. Man, you get the prize for driving the farthest. We got to come up with a prize for you. And then we have Liz, who came from Cortez. And then Wayne is manipulating the camera so professionally. Thank you, Wayne. So I don't think any of you have been on an event with me before, except Vince. You've come on a night hike. And so for people who've, and I didn't try to coach them on what to say. I know they're going to be gracious, but I want to hear anyone can speak, and I'm going to move the mic away from my mouth and towards you guys, and just some impressions of how this has been. Show them the camp real quick, Wayne. Just if you can do it without breaking something here. So that's the kitchen. We just finished dinner, barbecue chicken, and we haven't had too many complaints about the food. What the comments about the food are, this doesn't suck. So that's a good comment. Yeah. So yeah, we've all got tents, and here's our chef of the hour, Jill. Jill, just come say hi real quick, because everybody knows you. Keep getting there. You are.
Hi, everybody.
Awesome.
The food doesn't suck. Okay.
The food does not suck. So, yeah, how's this been? I mean, we've got another night that's going to be very busy, I think, and we'll talk about what happened last night some, but what are your impressions on a Bigfoot expedition? Anybody?
Loving it. It's great.
What's been fun for you guys?
Today I learned a lot about the tree structures and what to look for in the woods, where I've been many years spent doing that.
Yeah, you told me today that you will look at the woods differently now than you have before.
Yep. Never really thought a lot about the Sasquatches out in the woods until we saw the eye shines last night, and 3 different ones that I saw. And I'm saying, okay, now we know they're always watching us when we're out here.
Yep. Anybody else? What are some thoughts?
Plus, there was some low vocalizations last night that we couldn't make out what they were or where they were coming from. We had a white, very white, bright streak after Steve will tell you about he did, but he set something up in a tree and it went off, and all of a sudden this white, bright ball of light shot from one end of the field to the other end of the field, stopped and disappeared.
And this was, you were looking at an area that was about,
we were at the camp,
200, 300 yards wide.
Yep. We were at the camp looking down at where they were, and so we had a good view of the whole field, and that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Plus all the eye shine that we've seen, and then today with the road trips, the tree structures, the tree breaks are just phenomenal. It's just when you see them up close and personal, it's just amazing. And the food is great. It doesn't suck.
And my jacket to the ladies if they want. Yeah. So we this white streak that went across down below, you were looking through the thermal and there was nothing there, right?
Nothing on the thermal, but we seen it visually.
Okay.
With your natural eyes.
Ladies, any thoughts about this so far, this 2 days?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, just being out here and it's fun talking to people who don't think you're crazy.
Yeah.
And
we don't.
Only part of the time.
Only part of the time.
Not in front of you.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. The field trips have been great. I mean, that's the structures.
Yeah.
That's been really, really interesting. I didn't see or hear anything last night. I thought, Jill and I thought we were seeing maybe some eye shine, but it turned out it was Vince walking with.
Vince said he didn't see any red light.
Oh, really?
He saw
the red light was.
He thought it was us coming to him.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I did see something last
something was
night.
watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah, she saw red light.
We saw red light. Yeah.
Sometime.
Huh.
I thought it was a flashlight.
Nope. It's not us.
We thought you
And
were orbs.
Liz, Were both of you up at the same time, awake and outside?
No, I was up around, I think it was around 2:30, just looking at the stars because the moon had gone down.
Yeah.
But we were awake at
But
different
Liz,
times.
you got out and you said you heard something. You thought.
Yeah, I was hard asleep because of all the excellent food earlier in the evening. And I was tired. Right? We had done a lot of walking around in the woods and it was amazing. And I was wearing industrial earplugs because my tent mate is a bit of a snorer, and but woke up out of a dead sleep with my earplugs in to what sounded like 3 hard taps.
Like wood on wood?
No, like on the tent behind my head.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was 3.
Yeah, you're gonna think about that tonight.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I woke up. I was startled for sure, and trying to think about what woke me up. And it was probably around 2, maybe a little before 2, because I snuggled up and contemplated waking up Leslie to take me to the bathroom a few times. But yeah, it was. It definitely was a jolt.
Yeah. Well, bathroom breaks in the camp in the middle of the night take on a whole new meaning.
Yes.
When there's possibly things outside. So
There's speed breaks.
Bob, you were one of the ones that saw some eye glow, and I got down there just as you were kind of getting really excited about what you were looking at. Tell us a little bit about that.
Jill saw some lights through the trees, and I couldn't see it. And for the longest time, I couldn't see it. Just had to stand right. And it changed. It got a little brighter. And I got right in the right position. And I got my binoculars on it, and I was able to see it. And then I saw it blink, which was... That was the amazing.
That sealed it for you.
That was just, I just saw both eyes blink.
We had no lights, so there was no eyes reflecting like you
Nope.
had.
Nope. There was a house in the distance, but it was far to the left. So, yeah.
So something blinked.
Yes.
That had eyes that glowed in the dark. And we've talked about this before on the show, that their eyes glow. And for people who've never seen it before, it's a little bit like being at Disneyland, because it's just something you can't explain. It's real. You're seeing it with your own eyes. And but I made a short PowerPoint. Steve over to my right here in the black shirt. Steve, we were out. This was only about 10 o'clock at night. And Steve just took his not new. I was like a 10-year-old Casio camera, right? 20-year-old Casio camera. So he took his camera and he had a couple of things with him. One of them is this, what we call a cat ball. Explain that. What is that?
It's a thing we use in ghost hunting. You push the button and it activates it. And when you set it down someplace, it turns off.
There's lights.
Then when it's touched again, it'll activate.
And at night, this is quite bright.
Very
Yes.
bright.
Yeah.
It's much different.
But when you set it down and stop touching it, it goes off, and then something has to touch it. So, and you were up here at the camp looking down, and you saw one of these go off, right?
Kevin and I were sitting over by the fire pit, and we saw it go off, and he had his thermal going down there, and there's nothing there.
Okay.
And then right after that, the streak of light went through there, like Kevin said. It just, boom, extremely bright, and disappeared.
Yeah. I mean, I think like something had to touch this to set it off.
And it's missing now.
And it's gone. The cat ball is gone. So all those things tell us that somebody was down there messing with things, and there were no other people with us. We were the only people that were down there.
So tell them about this going missing and the toy showing up on Jill's doorstep.
Oh, I didn't know about the toy. Come over here and tell me about the toy. I didn't hear about that.
Well, so hi everybody. So we were talking about me wanting a tractor. That's my my dream right now is to get a tractor. And when this toy went missing, on my I had stacked some stepping stones. On top of the stepping stones is a little skidster, which I could use here if it was a real size one. Anyway, and it showed up.
A toy skid steer.
A toy skidster showed up on
Okay.
my stepping stones, and that's gone. We can't.
You didn't
find
bring
it.
the skid steer with you? to show
No,
us?
no, I didn't.
Oh.
I brought the sticks to remind Steve of the 4 knocks when I went to go get him
Yeah.
last night. But no, I didn't. I've never
Okay.
seen that skidster, and I don't know where it came from, but I'm going to keep it. It's
So they took this
They
Yes.
took that.
and they gave Jill a
Right.
toy to replace it.
and we were talking about tractors.
Yeah.
Talking about tractors,
last
and
night.
you get a little skid steer.
Yep, I got my skidster.
They were listening.
They were listening. It's amazing how apes can do things, isn't it?
Ooh,
Yeah.
what? What'd you say? That's a bad word.
That is a bad word. Around here, that's a cuss word. Well, that's crazy, Jill. They brought you a gift that was related to what you were talking about during the day. And where would they find a toy skid steer? I mean, it's just Yeah.
In their Sasquatch toy box.
in their Sasquatch toy box. Okay. But let's show. So we went down. Steve was with us, had his Casio camera, and he just starts taking these three photo burst shots. So let's we're gonna show this here. So this is the first shot, and you can see an orb. Can you zoom in on that, Steph? Or do you have that capability, or do I need to do that? I can't remember. Let me see if I can zoom in. Hold on. So in the photo, these orbs show up, and the first burst he took, the orb was moving, and so you could see it in one position in the first photo, and then another position, and there's something in the middle of the orb. It's hard. I can't blow it up enough to see what that is, but and then the second one the same, but they're kind of yellowish green, I guess. But there's something in the middle, just like the orb that we saw when I took all my staff out and Tammy took the picture, and I've shown you guys that picture. There was definitely something inside that orb as well. So we're going to look for some orbs tonight, some more orbs. But then I threw in a couple of shots of some of these tree structures. This one was interesting because you can go back to the photo, Steph. Yeah. The roots of this trunk were up in the air, and we didn't see anywhere that they came from, right?
Nope.
There was nothing below it. There was no hole where that trunk came from. So the trunk, the roots are sticking up in the air, and there was a stick leaned up against it.
It was actually jammed in the ground.
The stick was jammed in the ground?
Yeah, there was like a 4-inch hole where it was jammed into
Okay.
the ground.
Then we saw, go to the next one. Okay, this was just kind of a jumble, but did not happen naturally. These were all stacked together in different directions to create this kind of a sculpture, if you will. But again, we see these everywhere. I don't know the meaning. Like I told in a previous podcast, I have a feeling these could be a language, and this structure could be actually words that mean something to them.
What I thought was really interesting is that you don't see them everywhere. That there seem to be places where you see these structures, and then you drive by places that a similar environment, but there are no structures. That's what I found really interesting.
And the specific
Yeah,
trees,
it's like a
aspen trees,
right.
not pine
Yeah.
trees.
Well, I should say we see them everywhere because we're out looking for them. It's not just randomly driving that we see them, but when you go looking for them in the woods, you'll find these. And then a weird one, the third photo. This is hard to, okay, I don't know if we can reduce the size of that at all. There we go. So there was a strange branch hanging off of two other branches. Literally, it was just hanging from it, right?
Well, the branch hanging was cut.
And somebody, Yeah, Catherine, in the orb, it did look like a
Face.
it did look like a face, a profile of a face. You're right, which is strange. I don't know what that means, but this the lower stick is hanging from the top two, making them bend down, and then somebody had taken a saw and cut off one end of that. So
I think that the piece that's hanging down was cut before, and it was
Brought in from
used.
picked up.
It was
Brought
picked
in
up and
from a different
used.
place.
Yeah.
And those two at the top, Jim, did you see them? They were woven together. Up
I
and-
did not get close enough to see that.
They
Yeah,
were
the two
under and
aspens
over,
that are
under and
bent.
over.
Let's see if we can.
They were twisted in with each
They're all
other.
twisted around.
One was acting like a spring, holding the whole thing together.
Okay, I'm not sure. I can't remember if when I manipulate the same for everybody out there, but yeah. So they were woven together at the top. It wasn't just randomly hanging. But we've seen yesterday and today just dozens and dozens of interesting structures. And the reason we took these folks out was just to show them you don't have to the deepest wilderness area. Just drive through the woods that you find things like this.
It was pretty deep wilderness where you took us.
Well,
Yeah, really.
but you don't. So, but the key for me to doing these trips. Oh, nice! Getting some warmer. As you guys know, as soon as the sun sets in Colorado, it starts to get really cold.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. Could you bring a jacket for me? I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. So what was that comment? I didn't see that in time, Steph. The one you just put up. Oh, okay. New YouTube member. Great. So as we've been going and talking about any of this, I haven't been able to look at the comments to see if there's any comments or questions, Steph, that anyone here can answer before we move on.
Hey Jim, I got a comment.
Okay. So we've got 79 watching currently. Okay, got a comment here.
Yeah, I missed out on the talk earlier, but this morning when I got up, I thought I was the only person that didn't have any sightings last night. But after talking to several people around here, I was like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I did see something. So when Jill saw me last night, she asked me if I had a red flashlight.
Yeah, because we saw red in your direction.
And I didn't realize it, but just before that, I saw a bright red light in that direction. And I thought it was somebody out there with a red flashlight. And then
And Vince was like 300 yards away from us.
Yeah.
when these ladies told me they felt something scratching on their tent, I was in the tent right next to them. And about the same time she heard that, something startled me, and I looked in their direction like, what was that? So I might have heard.
So you may have heard whatever was scratching their tent.
Yeah, I didn't know it until they talked about it this morning.
Well, Liz, you can always, scratch back at it.
Touch it.
Touch it. Reach out and touch someone.
Put your back up there and let him scratch your back.
Before you actually had something happen. Yeah.
I moved my cot away.
Yeah.
I went in
I did too.
And I looked over there.
Getting close.
No, I looked at Jim, and you know what? His cot was almost in the middle of the tent. It was so dark.
No. No.
It was in the middle of the tent.
Lost my train of thought. I've learned. I've been poked, and I've learned to stay away from the corner of the tent or the edge of the tent, because you're gonna have something take advantage of that opportunity. So
But they seem to be friendly. They don't
no,
seem to be
they
aggressive.
are friendly. We haven't had in any of our trips.
Oh, the tree.
Oh.
lights. Yeah.
So Steve last night, when we were all kind of heading to bed, he grabbed a chair and went back down by himself to sit and just kind of meditate and
Brave soul.
so after I don't know what time was you went down to check on him.
It was 11:45.
11:45 last night.
We went to bed at 11:30.
Yeah.
And she got right as she got to Steve, there were 4 hard tree knocks, right? And we heard tree knocks. Did anybody else hear a knock? I heard multiple knocks last night. And Jill heard them in the morning this morning. I mean, very loud, wood on wood, bam, bam. And so, and there's, I mean, we're not in the wilderness here. There's a neighbor on this side. There's a neighbor we don't particularly like on that side, and Jill's house is the other direction. So it's not like nobody lives around here. I mean, there's people around here. So these Sasquatch come in, even with this activity.
But they're quite a ways away.
I mean, they're
not close.
they're 2 acres. No, more than that.
No, about 30 acres away.
30 acres away. But we know they're there, and the Sasquatch know they're there. So that doesn't bother them. So again, you don't have to go into Lost Creek Wilderness to have evidence of Sasquatch. They come in where we are, and that's what they're doing here. So behind these chairs, down back in that direction, behind Steve and Bob, is where the Sasquatch come in. From that direction.
Where your tent is.
Yeah, from the direction that your tent is, ladies.
And also, Jim,
Nothing, nobody living there, where they can traverse from this property all the way up into Pikes Peak.
So Jill was just saying from this property where we are, just behind her property, you can there's a corridor where no one lives that goes all the way to Pikes Peak. And so they can move through that corridor without being seen, without being getting on other people's property. But we tend to think that it's the same group that come to your house.
Yes.
It's not new Sasquatch every night. It's the same group that come. I just can't get over that toy that they left at your house last night. I just.
I should go get it, but
Is that worth the tractor?
Yeah, we'll trade you a cat ball for a tractor.
well, I paid for the tractor. He had to pay for the cat ball.
But that's just, to me, that's so like them to have heard this conversation and to say, hey, Jill, here's a tractor for you. And in their mind, that does look like a tractor. So
The only thing I said I needed was a tractor.
yeah.
and that conversation came up because we were talking about that. You said neighbor
Yes.
about using their tractor to block off the road. Do you want?
Maybe they thought that
Be
was a
nice.
good idea.
So
But
also,
after Jill and I came back in and I went to bed, a little while after that, I heard somebody walking around out in that area and a little bit of chatter, but I thought it was you guys out and about.
They didn't go out until 2 o'clock.
Yeah. And so, and this was between 12:30
Yeah.
to,
So it wasn't
So-
them.
Do you speak Chinese?
Nope. And we didn't actually talk to each other all night.
so that chatter was not you.
Yeah, and we didn't leave together.
It was something else.
That's what's so much fun about these is because I can't wait until the morning when you wake up and you get to find out all the experiences everybody had. And I'm glad I didn't have any.
So
All you guys.
in the morning, we're going to be up late tonight. So there's no need to get up early. We have a debrief time before you guys take off tomorrow.
Unless we get woke up by something.
Unless you get woke up by something. Any comments or thoughts here? I want to make sure I give our folks a chance to ask any questions.
I just got one more thing to say.
Go for it. Go for it.
This Jill's Ranch is a beautiful place, man.
Yes, it
It's so quiet, so much solitude up here. She's got a great place.
Don't go that way.
I know.
I know.
I know they're sold out for the year, but next year, man, if you got a chance, you got to do this. This is an experience.
Thank you.
Is that a hug from you too?
So let's see. Jeff's Jill, maybe ask for some gold. That's what I was going to say, Jill. Ask for however much money you need to.
I live in the most fantastic place in the world. No gold will ever do more than
No, but
this.
gold will buy you a tractor.
That's true, but I'm doomed to work hard, so come and
More
visit.
than a little one.
Hey, you can but ask, and so you didn't even ask for a tractor, and they gave you one. So, you can ask for some money. Who knows what they'll
Piece
do?
of cash.
You know
Yeah.
what they did last year? Is they cleaned my.
Oh yeah. Tell them about
cleaned
that.
My water trough.
Oh, yeah. Tell them about that. I forgot about that experience. Come over here.
All right. So last year, when we got all done with the season, I was exhausted. I was like, I was really tired. And so I walked out to the horse's water trough and it had that stringy. I think I've told you guys this before.
It's like
And we had
algae.
pictures, yeah. Stringy algae green stuff in there.
nasty.
Yeah, I hate that stuff. So I thought to myself, I have to clean this tomorrow. It's got to be done. So I'm gonna clean the water trough tomorrow. I woke up the next day. I walked out there. It was clean. There was no green algae. You could dip your hand in it and bring out a glob. It looked like Morticia's hair. I mean, you could throw it in the dirt, and there was nothing in there. It was crystal clear. I took a little bottle sample of water, and I put it in the windowsill because my daughter said, that's impossible, and the water's going to turn green again. So I put it in the windowsill. I still have that little bottle Sparklets drinking water bottle.
And it didn't grow new
it's
algae.
never turned green.
You should set that off for an eDNA test.
Yeah, I still have the water, but it okay. So that happened the 1st of September last year, and the bottle's been there ever since, and it's still. I showed it to you guys.
Still clean.
So it's still
Perfectly
clean. So anyway, thank you, Bigfoot.
Yeah.
How do they do that without any vacuum equipment, filter equipment?
Well, Jill's got another story. Did you tell him about the one with your ribs and your?
Oh, we've told about it. I think in the past, maybe I
No,
can't remember.
have you?
That's a long story.
Yeah, that's
that's for another day.
all right.
That story's out there. So
the healing side of it.
yeah, but we've just had a lot of things happen. Now, what I expect to happen tonight is more of what happened last night. So I think we're going to see more eye shine. Let me keep an eye on time. We're good. More eye shine, more tree knocking, more interaction around the tents during the night. And I think they probably were interacting with more than just the ladies' tents, but we were asleep. And so if we're snoring in the tent, they are going to come mess with it.
I don't snore.
If some of us are not snoring in our tents, I tend to think they know when we're asleep. And so, but this is the fun we have. Last night we were sitting around our non-existent campfire because there was a fire ban. And I said to the group, I said, to me, the best part of these expeditions is this: sitting around talking, getting to know each other, talking about Bigfoot, finding about each other's pasts. And it's great fun. I mean, it's great fun. And you can't do a weekend or a 3-day thing like this and not feel like you know the people that you are with. And so Jill and I always feel like we end up with, in this case, 6 new friends that we'll have for years to come. And hopefully that they'll come back and spend time with us again. But yeah, it's just you're not only camping together, but you're having experiences that you've never had before that are. Yeah, so some of you have never been on anything with Bigfoot. I'd love to know your thoughts about Bigfoot. Have you changed your minds? Anybody in particular? Has anybody changed their mind?
I still believe, even though I've never actually seen one, I've had some experiences that I don't know what to equate it to, but it's a possibility. We can't be the only dumb beings on Earth.
It just reinforced my belief in them. I've had a couple of little vocalizations I've heard before, but it just solidified everything I was hoping for. I go to a lot of Bigfoot conferences, but this is my first outing. and it's excellent. And
Yeah.
I will be back.
Vince, have you changed your mind at all?
Oh, it's still the same. I've been reading about Bigfoot for 40 years, but this has been a hell of a trip. I've been really jacked up about this for the last 60 days, and it's not been a disappointment. So
Great.
I encourage anybody, if you're interested, come and do it.
I was an armchair believer. Now I would say I'm a knower.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that.
So yeah.
I'm still not at the knowing part yet. Hopefully tonight. Hopefully tonight.
You want to sleep trade cots?
Yeah, sure.
We got to keep you ladies up later tonight. So
No, I'm staying up as late as I possibly can.
Okay.
What's that song? Hide the wine.
We've enjoyed some nice food and nice alcohol and
Good jokes.
nice jokes.
Terrible
Bad
stuff.
jokes.
Yeah. Any thoughts about what we could change from your perspective to make this a better experience for you?
Bigger toilet.
A bigger toilet. Well, Jill.
I heard next year, by gosh, the next expedition, as a matter of fact, we're gonna have a bigger toilet.
You can take the ATV down to the cabin.
In the middle of the night, that's a little hard. Yeah, we have a cassette toilet, which is beats digging a hole in the ground, but it has its shortfalls for sure.
I'd like to see a couple extra nights.
Yeah. I
Maybe
was thinking
4-night
that too.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we could look at that.
At least 3.
Yeah, 3 nights.
At least 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least it's good to know you're not fed up by now and ready to throw in the chips. So
Well, we forgot to tell you, we're staying here through tomorrow night.
Whether Jill knows it or not.
I was really gonna think we're
that's
squares.
fine. That's fine. We would love to have you. So
This unplugged.
what did
This. What is this?
we're still on?
Probably no sound.
That's just the battery charger for the computer. It's still running on battery. So
Nothing like the deep woods.
nothing like the deep woods. Well, it's unbelievable to get this podcast to work. We go from Jill's internet at her house, which is about 400 yards away, and her son David, who's nothing short of a genius, I think, managed to figure out how to extend the signal through my truck, which is running and probably almost out of gas, all the way to here. So we're a long way from the internet service, Rise Broadband. So David, I don't know if you're watching this tonight or if you will, but thank you for your help. It was awesome. We couldn't have done it without you, bro. Yeah, so we hear that. We can add a day to these trips for sure. We've based it on how long we could last in the past, and we love doing these trips and the horseback trips. The horseback trips are a lot more work because we have to take care of the horses, but we love it. We love doing it. So we still got some horseback trips planned. We're considering, if any of you have thought about doing one of these trips, we've got 3 horseback trips planned. We're thinking of changing one of them over to one of these, just a camp trip. And that would be the one in July, maybe. So because we've had more requests coming in for camping than horseback camping. So yeah, but this is great fun. We love doing it.
Should make it a working camp next year. Have alternate people do dinners and stuff.
I'll happily make it a working camp. Speak for yourself.
I'll be in charge of breakfast. If once they try my cooking, they won't want me doing it again.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
I know I shine from 3 different faraway locations. What about you guys? How many eye shines did you see?
Well, I think I may have seen one.
One?
The red.
The red one last night.
Oh, 4 because of the red one down in the field.
But Joe pointed out 3 for me.
So you got 3 too?
Yeah.
I might have seen the red light. That might have been eye shine.
Okay.
2 potentially.
In a movement.
Oh yeah, the black shadow. Yeah, I saw a black shadow. Jill found the shadow. She saw something move behind a tree, so I took my binoculars, and it was down at the base, and I zoomed into it, and I could see this black shadow keep peeking out from the tree. And at one point, I'm pretty sure I saw its left arm swing. As it came out, I could see a gap between it, and it just kept going in and out and watching us.
I put the thermal on it. I'll have to plug that into the computer and see if it shows up anything.
I'm not convinced that we always see them on thermal. For one, because they're covered in hair.
Yeah.
And that can mask their thermal image. But I think they may have other tricks up their sleeve to keep us from seeing them.
Yeah, and the reason they keep saying Jill, sees these things.
It's got great eyes.
Well,
She drinks a lot.
no,
It's her imagination.
I don't
It's the
drink.
Guinness that she drank just
No,
before we got.
No, what it is I don't look. I look for movement when it's daylight, and I look for movement at dusk and dawn. But when it's nighttime out here, I don't come out and look for movement. What I come out and look for is one eyeball that you'll see.
Oh, you looked for the Cyclops.
Yeah, I look
Sasquatch.
for the Cyclops because they'll usually only have one eye that you can see. They're like peeking out from behind the tree. And I've learned that because I used to come out looking for two eyeballs. I could never see anything. So now I know they peek out from behind the tree, or they'll only open one eye and they'll look at you and then they'll close it. And Jim knows because he's been out in the woods, but Wayne also knows. He's behind the camera. He's seen it like that too, and he's really good at picking them out, and he sees them from the peripheral of his eye. So when you're out here looking for them, don't be looking for two eyeballs looking at you. That's not what you're going to see. You're going to see a one eye, or you're going to see just a light, something, because their eyes are glowing, and so it just lights up. That when you saw that shadow, I saw the light behind the tree, so I knew he was hiding. And that's when I told you, get your binoculars on there and see what you can see, because you're looking for a glow that's not normal for a dark forest.
It's super faded. I mean,
Yes.
really light.
It's not bam in your face. It's a glow. You're going.
Unless it is bam in your face. And there's times it's bam in your face.
There is, but it's
So-
rare. But anyway.
I walked that tree this morning too, Jim. Looked for
Yeah.
prints.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Couldn't
see
find nothing.
anything.
All the grass and the weeds that are growing, nothing was smashed. There was no evidence whatsoever. It's just nothing.
Some sticks broken that possibly could have been,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say, and we don't always find evidence, but the evidence is what we can see and hear in the night. We haven't smelled anything yet.
no.
Hey, give us another night out here.
I think that you should recommend that people use red lights instead of white lights.
Red lights instead of white lights.
It messed my.
Well, we didn't use any lights.
No,
We
there
were-
there were people with.
I had the red light.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some of us use a white light, some use red. The advantage to the red, for those who've never been out, is it doesn't remove your night vision. It
Plus-
doesn't give you night blindness,
And animals don't see that.
and animals don't see it as well.
But
So
also last night was real. The moon wasn't
bright.
full, and it was really bright.
the moon was bright.
More in the shadows.
So
When we stood in the shadows, we could see much more. So,
Plus some UFOs on the mountain that we've seen. Lights
yeah, I mean, we saw lights that
moving in and out from the mountain peaks over here.
I didn't see that.
No.
What time was that?
That's
Oh, at the hill over here.
yeah, when we were down there in the meadow.
Okay. Well, there's no shortage of high strangeness at Jill Herrera's home, Jill and Ralph and David. And we really encourage all of you guys who are interested to come be with us for one of these. We might have to plan some more after tonight because people are going to get interested, I think. So,
I think we should change that July.
yeah, we will change one of our horseback to a camping. Any thoughts from our chat room? Let's see. So I Jeff, you're welcome. You mentioned wanting to come on one of these. Yeah, just sign up, bro.
You'll love it, man.
Well worth it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Regret it.
And this is camping, but it's not, you're not sleeping on the ground and you're not eating
The food alone
freeze dried
is
food. So yeah, don't bring your own tent or sleeping bag. We provide all of that. So let's see. If you ask them to please not touch your tent, I wonder if they would listen. We ask them for a lot of things, and they seem to listen. And I've asked them many times not to scare me because I wasn't in the interest of being scared. So, and they didn't. And so I think you can do that. It certainly doesn't hurt to ask, but what scares us isn't necessarily them trying to scare us. Them tapping on your tent is an effort to get attention, and it doesn't necessarily mean if they meant you harm. Trust me, you would know it. You would know it immediately, and that's not what they do.
Well,
So
it could be a
tap, moving the hand up back and forth on the tent, these kinds of things. Let's see. Maybe they like algae as a snack. That could be true. That could be true. I don't know how they cleaned your tank. I mean, that's just bizarre.
I don't know how they heard you.
Yeah.
They didn't hear me because I was thinking it in my mind.
Yeah, but mind speak.
Well, they had to be there.
Yeah.
Well, some people just have a connection with Sasquatch
and they love you, Jill.
that others don't, and they love Jill. Yes, they do. I love how Bigfoot gets people out camping and enjoying each other. Amen to that. That is awesome. Thank you, Bigfoot.
Thank you.
Well, this has been awesome. They're as curious about us as we are, and they have as good intentions towards us, I think, as we have towards them. So,
and the more you laugh,
the more we laugh and tell horrible jokes and
enjoy each other.
Very horrible.
The better it is. The more they come in, they really do.
And we have all this stuff sitting in the camp, out just sitting here.
Yeah,
they come through the camp. They might shuffle through something looking for it, like you heard last night, but
right.
they don't take anything or break anything.
Right. We leave stuff intentionally out in the camp, hoping they'll come mess around with it. Our stuff in the kitchen. We don't leave too much food out, but we could try that tonight to see what they do. Cookies. $1 million. Oh, you've got to come on one of these to at least try. What do you call them? Million.
Oh, no, they're magic. They've been around forever. Magic cookie bars.
Magic cookie bars. And we have been feasting on them. They're delicious. 1,500 calories per inch. I don't think so, but they're really good. So you won't lose weight on these trips. That's what I'll say. Okay. Great camera work, Wayne. This was an epic episode. You. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Well, we're gonna sign off unless there's a last question from the chat room. But you guys have been awesome. Thanks for bearing with us with the slow starts. And have I been singing to them? Well, I'll sing to them tonight, Jeff, so that this group can experience that. I'll sing some hee-haw songs. They love it. Okay.
They might.
Say thank you guys.
See you,
Thank
man.
all of you.
Trip is well worth it. Take it. Do it.
There's Jill.
Come on out.
We love you guys. And whoops.
Here's my luck.
A good thing you didn't compliment Wayne earlier. So
This is Oscar worthy.
there we go.
This is Oscar worthy, people.
You can hold that. Okay. Little catastrophe at the end, but thank you guys for tuning in and bearing with our technical problems. And we're just Bigfoot researchers. We're not technicians. So have a great night and keep on squatching.
Are you done with the generator?